What's up, Moto Buddies? Mike here from Tacobout Co. We've got a 25-500 KTM Excf. This bike is set up to be a long distance overlander. He's got this thing really dialed in for all sport use. We talk about this quite often. We're looking to develop bikes that have, it's a cross-platform machine, and so you can use this on a motocross track. You can use it out single track, double track, BDRs, TATs, overlanding adventures, whatever it is that you want to throw at this machine, it's prepared to gobble it up. And this is a great example of a tastefully done machine. You can tell by the aesthetic that this is a bit reserved. This machine is just really super capable, and in the right hands, it's going to go and do some awesome things. So if we take a look at this bike up here from the front, the first thing you'll notice maybe is that it's got this tower on here. So these are made by our buddy Joe in Australia, Yencro, and so we have worked with him over the years to develop, the last couple of years anyway, to develop these and to refine them into a product that really suits what an American rider is going for and how he's using it. And so if you take a look at some of the attributes of this, you'll see that we've got our integrated turn signals here. These are part of the Tidy Tail kit, and they have a run light feature, and then they cascade out in turn mode as they activate. He's got a Garmin GPS on here, and there is a moto-minded kicker. That's a little mounting plate that pops that thing out at an angle that gives the rider really good visibility of that screen when you're in a standing position. Up here is a ram foot with an arm, and then that's a Peak Design touch contactless charger. So that powered base, powered off the bike, you don't have to connect a cable to it. As soon as you click that in, then it's going to automatically self-charge your phone, and that is a really slick feature and cool thing. Then the key has been relocated, and then we've got the turn signal indicator there. Mako 360 for this bar mounting system, and that is a full damping mounting configuration, so there's no metal to metal contact between the rider and the bike. So that is to say, your hands here on the grips are fully isolated away from the vibrations of the bike itself, and it makes a tremendous difference. This is just really a game changer for riders that have wrist issues, or they get tingly fingers or sore forearms. This thing is really a big deal for those types of riders, and you can change the hardness of the elastometers, the elastomers, however you say that, inside of there. And then in the bars, talking about damping, here in the bars, we have the bars are threaded, and then the Fast Company, Fast Flex vibration inserts are here. And then these are really nice cushy OD Rogue grips. And all of this setup, all of this works together to do a tremendous job to isolate and reduce bar vibrations. And then another part of that is these Reflex Racing handguards. These are super light, they're way light, and then they have this little threaded piece of not steel belted, but just a piece of stainless steel cable here, and that does not, that eliminates any rigidity to the system. And so as you get some of the bar flex, it doesn't impart any stiffness because this flex point. And that, all of this together just works to reduce and minimize vibrations. And then a few other parts of vibration. The tires have been balanced. We always balance our wheels regardless. There are those who will say, well, it's a dirt bike, you don't need to balance it. It even matters in the dirt. And there are speed tests that have conclusively determined that a bike will run faster. You can gain some top speed if you're trying to squeeze out every bit of possible performance. A balanced wheel is a faster wheel than one that's not, because every time that heavy spot goes against the ground, there is more tire deflection against the ground, which creates friction, which slows the vehicle down ever so slightly, but it is a factor in it, and it's there. So we always balance out our wheels. And then another thing is the cush drive. So the rubber dampers that are here inside of this cush drive rear wheel, this is a Warp 9 Elite. So that's a oversized, you see just how beefy these spokes are. Everything is oversized, everything is super durable. And that cush drive will reduce the power pulses of a single cylinder engine. So thumper bikes benefit from cush drives. All of this together, maybe I guess the last thing here would be the seat. So the seat is a seat concept. It's wide. It's got very soft, pliable foam. And maybe I guess the last thing would be the suspension, which on this bike has been redone, reconfigured, and revalved. And he's got a X-Trig adjuster here on the rear shock, so you can change up and adjust your preload in the rear, because obviously he's got the big Moscow 40s on here, and so he'll be running some long distance trails and doing some traveling, and your back end sag will change. So yeah, I guess I'm just sort of focusing right now on what are the things on a bike that you can do on one of these machines to reduce that vibration and harshness, and those are all part of the package that we set up when we do these bikes. So let's just keep going here. Back at the tail end, we've got the Tidy Tail. This is the all-in-one turn, run, and brake in one single unit. And then this Enduro plate, which is magnetically attached and it has a flexible hinge point. And the purpose of that is, instead of having a rigid, hard-mounted plate, so if you fall over, the energy is going to bend up and damage the plate, this thing will just sort of break away and will flex out of the way. And then when you right the bike back up, it just magnetically snaps back down. You see there's a Graves muffler here, and this is the full titanium version. Super light, super good looking, and then very modest sound with a very effective sound insert, and it's Forest Service approved. Moscow, we talked about that, and there's the heat shield on the muffler. The wheel, which we've already taken a look at, but here on this side, you'll see there's the STR. That's the rebuildable and ultralight rotor guard, disc guard with an aluminum carrier, and all that's anodized and looking super fly. Cherubies on the swing arm protectors. The tire here is a Motaz traction air. It's a 130 size, and he's got a tube in there. And notice that the valve stem is not, the nut is not turned down to the valve stem. The valve stem is up on the bottom of the cap, which is the preferred way to do that. Taking a look in here, you'll see there's the horn that's been relocated, and then the heat shield here, and that protects the shock from all that heat loading from the exhaust as it transits by there. These are the air extend foot pegs from Promoto Billet, and they have this Achilles heel protector. Bulletproof Designs, who are making just great levers, hand levers and foot levers right now. And so this is their billet foot brake lever, Tacomoto on the oil filler cap, and then a Recluse CX 4.0. Clutch inside of there was just, it's absolutely magical. It's like robotic engagement. It's super smooth, prolongs your oil life, reduces arm fatigue, arm pump, makes the bike much easier to ride, and even advanced riders benefit from that because it can help you to lay the power down when you come out of turns and corners without having to engage the clutch or feather the clutch. So there's just so many benefits to that system, and all riders of all generations and skill levels can benefit from it. Samco hoses for extra durability, they look great as well. And then there's the heat shield that goes over that to protect the hose from the exhaust. Molecule skid plate, P3 carbon fiber for the full extend. It comes all the way here to the end, so you're not going to burn your pants. On the radiator guard, this is the Emperor. Emperor is the true king of all radiator guards. They have a full bottom protection. It has a hose protector here and full side. So there's a lot of products out there that call themselves radiator guards that don't pass that test as far as I'm concerned. These are legit, and that's a real guard, real radiator guard. On the front of this screen here, this tower, the Taco Tower, we've got the lights. So these are Diodynamics lights. These are very impressive units. And the bottom one is a low, wide, flat, and then the top is it's not a pinpoint spot, but it's a very long throw, has good dispersion, a very clean color, not a lot of fading and blending to black on the edges. It's pretty clean and sharp all the way out to the end, so the definition of the beam pattern is very good. And so these do a great job. It's a good combination of the two of these together. And our switch up here allows us, so this is part of our switch package. This gives you high, low, and then off, which is critical. So if you're trying to conserve power or shed load because you might have a battery issue or an alternator charging stator issue, you can do that, and then you can monitor your power here with a really bright display, and you've got USB-C and standard USB charging on there. And because there's ample room here on this, on the Taco Tower, you can add other accessory outputs. You can add more switches. There's just more you can do if you wanted to as far as real estate goes. And then just to point out on this side here, you'll see that there's the speedo unit, which we want to keep to the bike, but we just relocate it over there to free up space here on the top of the tower for better visibility. And you'll see that we've got our brake line, and that front brake line, it comes down and it's captured rally bike style. And so the flex point comes out here on the front. And that means that because this is all fixed and rigid now, it's not going to damage, this hose is not going to damage or interfere with the use of any of these electronics or items up here on the top. So that's pretty critical. And then here is the switch for the Get ECU system, and that's the switch that allows us to have our 2 maps and then traction control, quick shift, overheat warning. You can go to the race map on one, and then the very, very good enduro map over there on map 2. I just noticed we have the STR bleeders here, the air bleeders. Scott stabilizer is part of that whole system, the handlebar system. And then these are the Dingo, the guards here. These are really our favorite guards. They are, so you have an upper and lower set. And then you've got a blacked out fork. So down on the bottom, you see that there's the Acerbis, the X-Mud Gators. So you have a really good solid look as far as like a custom blackout on the fork, but then fabulous protection on the uppers as well as the lowers. Acerbis fuel tank, this is the larger one, this is the 3.9. And then inside of here is the Tacobout double snorkel kit, and that's gonna pull fuel from both wings. It'll drain that tank all the way down to full empty. Golan on the air filter, or on the fuel filter here. And then you'll see this is the SE cord for the charging system, and that's part of the Tacobout electronics upgrade package that we do. And then this connector here, you'll see that that eyelet, that eye-ring, that is part of our grounding system. So we're electrically grounding the engine, in addition to grounding the chassis as well. Dirt tricks on the dome washer. And then here's the Recluse slave cylinder that's fully adjustable, so you can dial that out if you need to push start the bike and then put that back in, dial it back in for engagement for the auto clutch. The Tacobout oil filter is right there, giving us 60, 70 hour oil changes, verified, validated. We've got all kinds of oil testing data and customers out there who are doing that. And then bulletproof here on the shift lever. Inside of the air box, let's take a look. We've got the twin air filter, OEM filter, a PC Racing filter skin. Underneath here is the filter cage. And then this is a flame-proof air filter here. So this cage, we run these not because they don't have the screen. That's a myth. We run them because they're billet and they do not flex, they don't bend. And so they absolutely mean that you'll have positive engagement all the way around on the air filter against the PC Racing filter skin base gasket, which is a great, all of this together works to have, mean you have the cleanest air possible, absolutely clean as possible. This is part of our electrical upgrade package. So all of the powered accessories that are going on in the tower run off of this system back here that's fused and relay controlled. And then back over there in the corner is the starting capacitor, which the OEM did not install on these bikes, which is a great oversight. So air filter box, what else are we looking at? Oh, here, this is the Heimdall. This little guy is the foot that allows you to put your foot, this is a kickstand foot. Because you have bags and because of the design of the kickstand, it's really tough. You can just struggle and fight to get your foot on this intended little kicker here to get your kickstand down. And so that's super annoying and almost impossible to do. So we provide this foot here, which allows you to get your toe on there and pull your kickstand down. It's super slick. I'm not going to pull the seat. It's tricky with the bags. It's just, I'm impatient to do it right now. But what you see underneath here is the anti-gravity 8-cell battery, which is a massive upgrade over the OEM battery, which is like 23 amp hours or watt hours versus like 56 on the anti-gravity 8-cell. So it's a significant upgrade in power density. And then the Get ECU system, tidy tail electrics, the other electrics that go along with that system is in there as well. Let's see if we look here at the front wheel, you'll see that we have the Motaz Tractionator. This is the 9100, so that's the fatty size. Really good tire, great comfort, good flex. I think that this just makes for a great tire wheel combination to have all of this blended together. And then STR on the carbon fiber front rotor guard. And then TM Design Works for these lower lugs. And all of this is about performance and weight. We are absolutely always chasing, minimizing unsprung weight. Now we've added weight because of this heavy duty wheel set. And so scrubbing some away with like a TM Design Works and then this STR, this is a good combination. So you're just trying to vary your weight loads. You change some things, you make a thing a little heavier, you make a thing a little lighter. And so all of that should just be taken into consideration. The graphics package was created in-house. We make these, we print these, and this one is pretty understated. It's got a nice chill OEM look, and it ties up really well with the bags. The orange and black is a tremendous, it's just a classic look for a KTM bike. So I guess if we wrap this thing up, you can see that there's a lot of things in here that integrate together to give a rider an ultimate package. Meet those goals, give the rider what they're looking for. And this one aesthetically turned out really good. Performance-wise, it turned out great. So if you're looking to put together an ultimate machine, just a classic dual sport that's unrivaled by anything else out there, please reach out to us. We're happy to help you. We're happy to do this build ourselves here at our Vegas shop. We ship bikes in all the time, and we ship bikes to all 50 states all the time. So we are very experienced and equipped to handle any of the logistics for you and the build process for you. These bikes they're broken in on the dyno, and we just have a great program that's super well dialed in. It's a very, very high level oiled machine, and we're happy to get you plugged into it. And if you want to do it here, that's great. Or if you would like us to put everything on a bike like this in a box and send it to you so you could do this work yourself, we can accommodate that as well. So anything you need, please reach out and holler, like, subscribe, go out, get some adventure.